Now that you've clicked on this video, that means I know something about you and you know something about me. This is going to be one of those videos where I bare my soul, and I hope that it resonates with you. I am speaking to those individuals that have just been through a massive amount of shit in your life, and maybe you are at the point, beyond the point, approaching the point where you just had it. You're trying to figure out what is the next step for you, what's the next chapter looking like for you. I'm hoping that by the end of this video, you feel empowered to actually make a change in your life, to have the capacity and the courage to redefine who it is that you are, who you define yourself as, your actual identity, because that's really what a lot of this comes down to. Obviously, I'm someone who's also felt like, I know we all make the excuse of, well, everyone's been through things or everyone has to do this. Not necessarily. So I want to dive into my experience and what it is that I do. And if it resonates with you, then please leave a comment. Let me know how you are feeling. Now, I've always been an overachiever. I've always been someone who wanted to go above and beyond in school, in work, trying to be a great friend, a great sister, a great child, a great daughter. And after a while, I realized a lot of this was starting to just be a performance, starting to just put me in boxes where I was not fully allowing myself to be, not fully giving myself the presence, honestly, to just exist and realize what it was that I was really good at, what it was that I really wanted to be doing. After a while, you get to the realization in your life, whether it's because of, you go through a layoff, you lose your job, you end up really stressed or overwhelmed at that job, or something happens in your family, something happens in your life that just makes you realize, is this what I want to continue doing? Because that's what happened to me. We get so busy performing the role of being a good daughter, being a good friend, making sure that we show up in ways that other people are going to be happy about. For me, it was working in education. I was really excited to work in education, and then I was disillusioned and realized how not only chaotic, but just how corrupt a lot of the educational systems can be. Education, working in that space can be, and a lot of different spaces. I also worked in corporate, and I've seen very similar things. But a lot of these experiences teach us that, well, we have to remain hidden inside of ourselves. We have to remain performing a very particular role or position in order to continue satisfying those around us. And we get so busy performing all of these different roles that we are constantly looking for safety outside of ourselves. 5 years ago, I made the decision that I was no longer going to allow circumstances, situations, people in my life to define how small my box was. In fact, I didn't want to live in a box anymore. And it started with my family. It started with revealing things that most families don't want to be revealed. But I didn't want to hold on to that. I didn't want to hold on to the shame. And I didn't want to continue allowing these situations to limit my voice, to limit what I was capable of experiencing for myself. So I said no more, and that was the beginning of a chain of dominoes that allowed me to be more expressive, to live my life more freely, and to experience more abundance in a number of different ways. And after that experience, I realized that creating more freedom in my life, obviously that starts with money. Creating more money, more freedom, more abundance in my life, creating more income for myself made me realize that it was not a money issue. It was actually a visibility issue. It was actually a problem with how I saw myself, because visibility starts with how you see yourself. You get to decide that you give yourself validation. And I didn't realize all the ways that it was showing up in my life, including not asking for what I wanted, not having strong boundaries, only applying to jobs that I felt 100 or 110% qualified for, keeping ideas and opinions to myself, feeling like I needed permission before I did anything. I would ask 3, 4, 5, 6 different people before I started something, ask their opinions, try to get a survey. I believe that everybody already knew the things I knew. I didn't feel like my experience or my knowledge or my skills were that valuable. I felt like I was over-identifying. This is a really big one. I felt like I was over-identifying with the idea of stability. And that's where the whole changing your perception around having a 9-to-5 comes from. It's, well, if you can identify that you have skills that are going to be monetizable in any market, if you can recognize that, then you see stability regardless of where you are. Which leads me to another point, which is a lot of people think that they are self-aware, when in reality they're just being critical. You cannot call yourself self-aware if you're only aware of the negative things, okay? You have to also be aware of the things that make you unique, the things that make you an expert in this thing, an authority in that thing. Then you have to take that authority, you have to take that power and claim it and decide that you get to be good at that you are good at that, and that is a part of your identity, not just the things that are limiting you. And then here comes capitalism. Because of capitalism and people with really good marketing skills, they will make you believe that you can make 10K a month doing digital products without showing your face. And not that that's not possible, but everyone that has experienced success, they have allowed themselves to be visible in some way. That means they are aware of what they're good at and what they're not good at. They're aware of how to utilize what they already have in order to bring in that security for themselves. Because it's not just about money. It's also about how you view security, how you view stability, how you view income, and how you view yourself. So yeah, there are a lot of people selling courses, and a lot of it is really the same, but if you don't address what's at the core of it, which is how you see yourself, then the rest is really not going to change. And you know, you can take it from me, I have met with hundreds of people throughout the course of my career, and specifically women are most often likely to say, you know, even though they have the same experience as someone in a senior role, someone getting paid twice as much, they'll be more hesitant. They'll want the approval that I mentioned earlier. They would want other people to validate their experiences before they say, actually, yes, I can apply to that higher role. So I've seen the ways that visibility has kept people stuck, has kept people at certain income levels, inside and outside of the traditional 9-to-5. So when I say that, yes, you can create more income and stability for yourself, but it requires you to see yourself, I really mean that. And it doesn't matter what you do, and it doesn't matter how you do it, but you have to do this first. And it comes for some people very naturally, but specifically for people who've experienced trauma, who've experienced a lot of shit in their life, and it weighs on you in ways that you cannot even describe, I am telling you, the first step is deciding that you get to be seen, that you don't hold on to shame and limitations in whatever way that means for you. Financial freedom is not just about money. It's about becoming visible enough to be seen, to be available for, and to be accessible for opportunities and experiences and income and clients, all of the things. And in this new era of money making, let's be honest, there are less traditional 9-to-5 jobs available in the fields that people are looking for. So there's more competition in those spaces, but people are still spending money to get access to things that they need. So it's important that you identify the things within yourself that you find are important and are valuable, because in order to get other people to see your skills as valuable, you first have to see your skills as valuable. That means you first have to allow yourself to be visible within. You have to see yourself first, and then other people will see your skills as well.